Alrighty guys, this is A to Ace here, and we're going to be here today. We're going to talk about a new DeFi strategy that I have, and I'm going to share it with you here today. It's going to be a cross-chain DeFi strategy that uses Aave, USDC, Dano, and Sunday Labs as well. And then you get to use some of the DeFi things on Cardano, some of the DeFi things on Ethereum. And the whole goal is to eventually get more liquidity into the Strike liquidity provider pool for the market makers on Strike Finance. So real quick, let's get into the stream here. So if you did not see earlier today, Strike put out a post that they're going to be introducing Aave double yield. They're excited to announce that users will be able to take their LP deposits from Aave and supply them to the liquidity vaults on Strike Finance. Right now, they're earning between 18 and 20% APR, and that liquidity is used to provide liquidity to the market maker bot to provide better slippage and other things like that to the traders on Strike Finance's platform. So let's get in here real quick. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be taking a $200 Ethereum hedge, and we're going to take a $200 in Ethereum, supply it on Aave. We're going to borrow USDC from the collateral that we provided to Aave. Then we're going to bridge that through the USDC to USDCx bridge that has 0 bridge fees right now through IOG. Then we're going to go over to Cardano, which is where we're sending that USDCx to. And we're going to exchange that USDCx for USDM on Sunday. And there essentially is almost no slippage there, maybe 30 cents or so there. Then we're going to take that USDM and we're going to supply 100% of it to Dano Finance. And we're going to get like 50% or so on the APR from Dano. Then we're going to borrow 70% of our value there for USDCx. I do believe that's the most that we can borrow there. If not, we can borrow the max that we can there. And then we're going to supply that USDCx back to Strike Finance and earn off of the Strike LP, which is also going to be earning us either USDC for the Ethereum side, USDCx on Cardano, or USDM, whichever one you want. The biggest thing is it's going to be in a stablecoin, so you're not earning Strike token. There is no more of it to come out. It is all in existence, other than the part that is in the DAO, and we control the DAO, so that is what it is there. So let's get back over here. Let me show you a little bit about what we're talking about. So I made a post earlier today on Medium. Let me bring me back in here now so you can see me. So I made a post on Medium, and it kind of goes into what Aave users can do with their new liquidity, or new things they can do with their liquidity. So you can go over to our Medium article there on Hydrodrip there, and I'll show you how to get that done later. But let's get over here and see this. So currently on a Strike liquidity providers market maker pool, they're earning 19%. It does move as the market maker bot is winning and losing positions against the other players in the market. Traders, players, whichever one you want to call them there. Currently, there's almost $1 million in TVL. That's 926,000. Obviously, we want that to be even more. The more liquidity we have, the tighter stop losses or tighter slippage and entries and other things that we can get there. So that makes it better for the traders. The better slippage and other things there means more traders will be able to trade with bigger positions and everything there. So let's go down here to Aave, and we have our Aave. So let's go ahead and open up Aave v3, and we're going to connect our MetaMask wallet that we have. It's over here. So yes, we're going to let Aave connect, and we have 0.12 that we can supply. We do get 1.52 APY for supplying that. So, you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and supply that. So we're going to, we don't want to borrow wrapped ETH. So we're going to get 81% loan to value here. So that's good there. So we want to give max. So we're supplying almost the max there. And we're going to supply ETH. So we're over here, transaction request. It's asking for it to be able to produce this transaction with a 71-cent ETH. Oof. All right. So we're submitting that transaction there. I'm doing this all live with y'all. I'm learning this as well. I'm obviously a ADA person that is learning how to operate on Ethereum as well. I already had some Ethereum that I had over in my wallet for the World Mobile stuff there. So I got some World Mobile token on base. I got some Ethereum on base. I had some wrapped Ether that I was using on OpenSea and everything there. So we've got that. So we can borrow our USDC, and I do believe it is saying that we are able to borrow $163. So let's press the borrow. Let's press the max. Reduce your health factor and increase risk of liquidity or liquidation. So maybe let's not do all the way there. Let's do 150. Give it a little extra so we don't lose it all just from that. So we'll take 150 there. We got to acknowledge because it's less than 1.2, I believe. So we're going to borrow this USDC. We'll borrow this. Network fee of $1.84 USDC. Okay. So taking some back from us already on the Ethereum side of things. I'm showing you how to do this with 200 because that's what I have. Obviously, you have other assets that you can supply on Aave. You can go ahead and supply those there. I have borrowed those. I have 150 debt here. I'm paying 3.96 APY on it. And if the Ethereum US dollar value goes up, then my supply ability by borrow power goes up as well. Actually, it goes down, so then I can borrow some more. Go over here and connect our deal here. Yes, we want to connect that. We want to connect our Cardano. Okay, so it shows that I have it there. I don't know why it's not showing over here in the MetaMask wallet, but you know, hey, okay. So we're going to get 148. Bridge fee is free here. All right, so let's bridge. 148, 19 cents ETH, much better fee there. All right, so we wait for the bridge to go through. I don't know exactly how long this takes. It may take 10 or 15, 20 minutes, depending on all of the confirmations has to go through on the bridge from Ethereum to Dano. You do have to make sure you come over here and confirm the request here. It's confirming the transaction here. All right, so we can view our history here. And it is pending from ETH to ADA, 148 USDC. It is pending. We can go over to our wallet here and wait to see the USDCx come in as well. So in the meantime, while we wait, what we'll do is we'll give you one of our commercials. So we do have some sponsors on the channel. One of them is my own company. It's Aave. So let's get you over here and catch you one of those while we wait for the bridge to go through. Are you still stuck with your big wireless? Overpaying? Are you locked in a contract? Were you buried in that fine print? Yeah, I thought so. Ditch your carrier. Switch to World Mobile today. We have no contracts, no early termination fees. We play no games. We have plans that start at just $15 a month. Bring your crew and you get a discount on top of that. Up to 4 lines or more, and you're saving 30% each line. Are you paying full price? I sure am not. I got my built-in VPN, my encrypted connectivity, my identity protection. Your old carrier, they give you excuses. We give you control. Stop funding the outdated networks. Own your own connection. World Mobile. Switch to the smarter network. So we're back over here now, and we're just waiting on the bridge transaction to go through. So I will just make this go a little faster. So what I'll do is we'll look at what we're going to do next. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go ahead and connect our Cardano wallet over here. And we're going to grant it access to be able to see it. We're going to agree to their policies. So our Cardano wallet that we're going to have that USDCx come through over on the bridge is going to be attached there. Let me move myself out of the way so you can kind of see what's going on here. We'll zoom in a little bit here for you as well. So you can see all the different things that Dano Finance is allowing lending pools on, and this is what we're actually after here. There's a 49% APR here that we're going to supply the USDM here and borrow USDCx from that. So we're only going to pay a 7% and we're going to earn 49% back from that. So we're trying to essentially earn about 50% APY or APR, whichever one you want to call it, on there. So let's check the bridge real quick. So it's still pending. The bar is going across about 17 minutes. So yes, it is the 20 minutes of the confirmation required on the Ethereum chain before it is allowed to come out of Ethereum and bridge over to Cardano. So I was right on the 20-minute time frame there. All right, so this is what we're looking for here. And then what we'll do is when we come over to Sunday Labs or Sunday Swap, and we're going to open up Sunday Swap. And what we're going to be looking for is their exchange. When we go over to the exchange page, right here, there's going to be a stable swap. So we're going to be swapping USDM for USDCx, or opposite way there. So we're going to be transferring USDX to USDM. USDM is a stablecoin on Cardano. It is backed 1-to-1 by Treasury assets. It is available in many different states in America and Europe. It's on different European exchanges. You can exchange Bitcoin for USDM and other things there. It is the largest stablecoin on Cardano, very close back to USDCx. 50, 60, 70 million supplied on the chain there. Yes, that's smaller than other chains and other things like that, but we're trying to get that liquidity up for us on our chain. And this is one of the ways that we can help that is by having programs and dApps like Strike that allow people to use that liquidity and provide that liquidity to earn APR and other things like that. So that's what we're going to be doing here. So we're just going to be waiting for this bridge to go through. So as I do that, we'll wait for this here, and I'll give you another commercial.
Ever feel like everything you do is being watched? Don't let the big three creep on you anymore. Switch to Ace Cellular with plans starting at $15 a month and get your privacy back.
If you've never heard of Ace Cellular, that's my own cell phone company here. That's why I have the hat on here. It's an awesome logo. I love it. And if you don't know anything about Ace Cellular, you can go over to acecellular.io and you can come over here and see the awesome website that I built here. So World Mobile has the new phase, the new plans that are coming out as low as $15 a month. It works all across the United States. and we're growing and making the network a better place to fill in the Swiss cheese, the holes that are in the market that are out there. Those are going to be produced and provided by all of the people that are going to be giving out the air nodes or producing the air nodes or putting them on their houses, businesses, and everything else. And that's going to be producing a better network for us to be able to use. They also have many different things that they're working on and everything, but the biggest things that we need is revenue, and revenue is produced by customers. So if you're in America and you want a better cell phone service that doesn't spy on you, honestly, I had no idea that when you signed up your contract to AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all the rest of those, that in that agreement, you allowed them to read what you search, what apps you use, how long when you download them, how long you use those apps, and everything and such there. It's pretty impressive to me on the way that the system has worked. It works better than AT&T FirstNet, which is for the EMS providers. It works better than the Verizon has worked in many different places. I've been in the middle of the woods in East Texas, and my mobile phone works, and AT&T is not, and everything else there. So you can come down here, you can look at all the different things. There's many different things that you can do and check and see all the different additional items that I provided than what is on World Mobile's website. Obviously, what we want you to do is we want you to come down here and choose a plan. When you choose a plan, it's going to send you over to our link here with World Mobile on our affiliates page, and you're going to choose one of your plans here. And when you do that, you help out my channel, myself, my family, and everything else, my business here, because I do actually have a business running this. It is not just like to help out the channel, other things. So we want to know if you want some more information on that. So let us know. We're going to go back and check the bridge. So we got about 12 minutes left. Alrighty, so we're back here now. And while we wait, while it says it is completing soon, we're going to come over here and we're going to look at a couple of things that they do provide here for us. So this is something I'm getting into here. This is from their quant desk and their pair trading terminal. So what I am doing here is I have a hedge against Bitcoin for Bitcoin short and a long on Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, and XRP. So it's a cross position, 40x leverage on the Bitcoin short there with 7.45. So we're going to have about 50% of the play in Bitcoin, and then 12.5% spread between Ethereum, Solana, ADA, and XRP, all at 20x leverage. And that's a full cross position. So if Bitcoin drops, and so do the alts, we'll make money on the short. If all of these or any of these go up, just like ADA has, ADA's up 20% from when I did this. ADA has ran the most out of all of the tokens on this exchange. I do believe Zcash has ran up the most. Honestly, we can take a look at that as well. So let's go over to here. Let's go to the markets and let's look at Zcash. So Zcash definitely ran with the with a run up here. Let's see, it is up 13%. That's a pretty good up there. You can also put that into one of the quant tradings if you want to as well. From the trading pairs, you come over here to the pairs, not the markets, the pairs, and you can pick any one of the ones that are there. I was in a long on Bitcoin, short on oil earlier, right before the news came out. I did pretty well, made 100% on that trade and got out of it. Wish I would have stayed into it. I would have been probably 150, 175% on that trade. But then I got into the alts versus Bitcoin. They also have a couple different ones over here: gold versus silver, crypto versus stocks, digital gold versus gold, hype flip Solana, ADA Maxi, and so on. Or you can pick your own pairs when you come over to the quant desk and pick trading pair. You just come over here and choose and change your asset. You do want to make sure that all of your margin modes are on cross. And while you're on a cross in this, you can't open up another position on these while this position is running in this one account. So if you want to try to do different ones, you want to make sure you have different ones. But if you're running an ISO pair on like Bitcoin beforehand, you want to make sure that you change your cross margin or your margin mode to cross from ISO so that your trading pair opens properly and actually runs a cross between them instead of just runs like 3 crosses and a couple ISOs. All right, let's go back to the bridge here. It is completed, so let's check our stuff here. There is the USDCx. Now on Cardano, 148 here. So we got this over here. It is in our wallet. We do have our 148 here. So let's go to our swap. Let's go ahead and swap our USDCx for USDM. So see there, we lose 3 cents. And the way that it works on Cardano is that you do have to put in your spending password every time. But if you do happen to put it in incorrectly, it doesn't take your money for the deal. You just have to re-put it in. There is our market order. We'll wait for that to come through. It won't take us very long. We can see that come through in our wallet on Eternal, or we can come up here and view our order here and wait for it to come through. It says it has executed. Let's check our wallet. There is our 148.11. So now we can go back to Dano and supply it here because now we have USDM. So we'll supply our USDM here. And like I said before, we do have to make sure we put in our password, and we'll wait for Cardano to do its confirmations. It normally takes about 20 seconds or less for Cardano to do its confirmations and the smart contracts to execute on chain. Cost us maybe 9 cents on Cardano for this transaction. We've spent way less on transactions on Cardano than we have on Ethereum already. All right, so we'll use this one. Yeah, there it is. So we can use that one. And we want to borrow our max. No, we can't borrow that. All right, so then we want to borrow the max. So we'll be able to borrow 121 USDCx. And we'll wait for this transaction to go through. All right, so now we have debt of 121 with a collateral of 149. We're using USDCx or USDM as collateral, borrowing USDCx stable to stable. So we went over here, and what we did was we had to switch it back over from USDCx to USDM because the Strike liquidity pool provider pool here still only allows USDM on Cardano to be submitted. If you bring USDC in, you could do that. I could bridge it back and for free or whatever, and take that amount of time, or I could just swap it back on Sunday Swap here on their stable pool. So that's what I did there. We can look for the order. It has been executed, so we should have our ability to deposit funds in this account here. Let's check our wallet. Yes, we have 121 USDM. So we'll come back over here. We'll refresh our page, have it read our wallet again, and we should be able to deposit. Oh, we need to deposit it into the account from Cardano. USDM, we'll deposit the max amount. We do have a 2 ADA batcher fee and $1 a USDM, so we'll be going down to 120. All right, so that'll process through. We'll wait for that to process in and allow the deposit to occur. If you can see, there's a little spinny sign up here saying that it is currently in the deposit process. and we'll do our refresh just to see if it can come a little faster. Not yet. There it is. Should be in now. Now we'll be able to deposit here. So we brought in 120. So let's deposit 120. You are able to withdraw within, and it takes 1 day for it to come out. That's so that all of the wallet signers can do their signing processes and make sure that it stays safe and everything there. So we're going to go ahead and deposit our 120 there. And we have 119.99 cents in our position here, adding to the total volume liquidity that is in the Strike liquidity providers pool. So what we'll do is we'll let that work, and we'll come back and show you how it is working there. So like we said here, we have supplied, we have debt here, and we have supply, and we have debt here. So as Ethereum US dollar price goes up, we'll be able to borrow more from the USDC pool here and get more coming across. We'll have to wait till it is a little more of a substantial amount than just like $10 or $15 to be able to make sure that it is cost prohibitive for the transactions and all the fees that you do have to have. So, you know, you can do that there. And what we'll do is we'll come back and show you how this has gone over. So on the way out, I'll hedge you out with another one of our commercials. Y'all have a great day.
Think what you do on your phone is private, because the big three are always watching. They watch what you tap and predict what you'll do next. And the second you choose, it gets tracked, logged, and sold to advertisers waiting for your data. Stop allowing the big three to see everything you do and switch to acellular.io.